guys, my name is Linda Dolke. I'm a demonstrator with Stampin Up here in Australia, and welcome to my very crazy craft room. We are currently moving house. A week from today we get the keys for our new place, and it's very exciting, but I'm going to just show you very embarrassingly what my craft room looks like right now. So the table is really messy and it's not looking too bad, but then you get to here, look, full of boxes. I've got all my stuff ready, things are being packed up, the table itself is crazy, oh my gosh, stuff everywhere. Ugh. So yeah, it's been a little bit of a struggle doing videos over the last couple of weeks because it's sort of all a bit of chaos here, but today I wanted to quickly show you, before we pack it all up, this beautiful card that I just made. So I love them. I've got two here. They're beautiful. Aren't they gorgeous? This is called Parisian Blossoms, and it is absolutely beautiful. It's from our new mini catalogue that starts on the 3rd of January. So enjoy the video, and I will be back soon in a brand new space. How exciting. See you guys. So today's card is this gorgeous Parisian inspired creation. I think it's really soft and romantic, and I think this is going to be a really popular set. I'm working with the Parisian Beauty Cling Stamp set, and this is to be found in our brand new mini catalogue that's coming out on the 3rd of January. So if you don't have one of these and you're in Australia and you'd like your own copy, I'm happy to send you one for free in the post. You just need to contact me and let me know. And this particular suite that we're playing with today is called Parisian Blossoms, and it has some beautiful samples. This is page 14 and 15 and 16 and 17 of the catalogue. So it is one of the larger suites. It actually features 2 stamp sets and 2 framelit sets, so you can actually put in one code and purchase everything, or I'm just using the Parisian Beauty bundle today, which is the framelits or the dies and the stamps. I'm also using a little of the designer series paper. I'm using the embossing folder, I'm using one of the rhinestones, and I'm also using the metallic edge ribbon. So I'm trying to give you guys a really good overview of the whole suite today. There is also a cherry blossom part of the suite as well, and I'll save that one for another time. So this is the card that I created, and I'm actually going to start out just by giving you some tips to save time today. I've actually pre-cut all the die cutting pieces. So first of all, we have a piece of Whisper White thick cardstock that I'm using as my card base. So I'm just going to fold that in half and give it a quick run over with my bone folder, flatten the edge to make it a nice flat card. Now, I have already, as I said before, pre-embossed this, so I've done the big shot work, and for this I have used this beautiful, this is one of my favourite embossing folders ever. I absolutely love it, and it is called the Parisian Flourish 3D embossing folder. So even though I've already done this, I just want to give you a quick tip about using this. When I use 3D embossing folders, I usually put them in with the hinge towards the machine, so it goes through first, this edge first, and also the sandwich that you use for these 3D embossing folders is really important. I'm using the 3D embossing plate. This is a blue embossing plate, and it is also in this catalogue. We've had it available for a little while, but it's the first time it's actually appeared in the catalogue, and it's right up the front here. Where is it? Here it is, on page 11, 3D embossing folder plate, $17.50 here in Australia. And you can order these, like I said, they've been available for a little while, but you can order them through the online store. And the sandwich for this, when you put it through, is actually very simple. You get rid of the thin die adapter, and you just use the base plate, okay? And then you put your piece of paper, whatever you're going to use, in the middle here, put it through, put it straight onto the plate with nothing else, no cutting pads, nothing, and then just the blue plate on top. That is your sandwich, okay? The whole thing goes through like that, like I said, with the fold edge first, and goes straight in. The only exception I make to putting the fold edge through first is if you only wanted to do part of it and you had to sit it out like this. Obviously you're going to have to turn it sideways to make it fit through. So that's the only other time, but otherwise I would always make the fold edge go through. It's easier on your folders. I'm going to be using this beautiful designer series paper. It is called the Parisian Blossoms Specialty Designer Series paper, and one side has like the plainer designs, more delicate designs, and the other side has this gorgeous, hopefully you can see how lovely that is, champagne embossing to it. So this one has the shiny Eiffel Towers, and as you go through, most of them have that on one side. There's a couple that don't have embossing on one side, but they are absolutely beautiful, and one of my favorite papers from this new catalogue. It's beautiful. I've got a couple of favorites. Little Eiffel Towers on that one, luggage, some keys and locks and fleur-de-lis on one side. Just beautiful. All right, so the one that I'm wanting to use is this one here. And I'm just wondering, I think I already had a piece of that already cut. Anyway, so I'm just going to bring in my trimmer and cut this to size. So I'm making it the same width or the same length anyway. Actually, I'll go this way first, as my petal pink piece that I embossed previously. And just for fun, because I could use my trimmer to cut it again, but I'm going to show you something new. Here we go. Let me just show you this really cool little contraption. This is brand new. This is our mini cutter or mini trimmer, and this is going to be available during Sale-A-Bration, so from the 3rd of January until the 31st of March. To new demonstrators only. Okay, so that's a bit exciting. It's an actual guillotine, and it's got a piece here that floats. So if you need to just make a little long cut like this, and how wide do I want this? I think I wanted it to be about 5 centimeters or so. And you can see it makes a nice, great for doing small cuts, like if you're scrapbooking and you want photos to trim, that kind of thing, or to cut little pieces. Fantastic, and it's a cool little thing to take on your table. It's very portable. I love it. Okay, so this piece now is the right length for this. Actually, I made it slightly too long, but that's okay. I'm going to pop that straight on. Now you can use, with designer series paper, I usually like to use Tombow or Snail. Snail's nice and quick, so let's just pop that on. Now, that mini trimmer is not the only thing that new recruits are going to get. They're also able to receive a pack of paper. Now, this is a sampler of some of our, from each of our designer series packs in the new catalogue and the Sale-A-Bration one as well. There's a few sheets from each, like so, a couple of the designs from each one. So it's a sample of each one. So this is Birthday Bonanza, and then there's the golfing one. There's cute tropical ones with pineapples and hibiscus. The style one, I forget the name of that, I've got to look that up, with the lipsticks and the poppies. Look how beautiful. Isn't this gorgeous? So this is like a 6x6 sampler. There's 48 sheets in this, more poppies. Absolutely beautiful papers, and those are also free to any demonstrators joining. So for only $169 here in Australia, you get this 48 sheet pack. You also get the mini trimmer, the cutter that we just used, and you also get to pick from, I left just a blank case here to remind me, you also get a free stamp set, and you can choose what you want that to be. And here's my tip: pick something a little bit higher in value. It's free, right? So you might as well get the most value that you can. So if you want more information on anything to do with that, please let me know. Okay, I've snarled this on, and I did actually trim that a little bit too long earlier. So I'm just going to trim it off so it's exactly in line with my embossed piece. There we go. All right, so I've already prepared, just to make things a little easier, I've cut some of the elements out, or all the elements actually, that we need for this little card. And it's actually a really simple little card, as you can see. But I did want to share with you a couple of things, a couple of tips when using this. So here are the dies that, as you can see, match the stamp set. If you wanted to actually stamp this, then we've got this Eiffel Tower one here. Just pull that off. That one cuts out that stamped image there. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. However, today I'm not using that one. I'm using the detailed one. And I cut it from a piece of champagne. Okay, I like champagne. It's softer than silver. It's a really great metallic if you're looking for a good medium metallic. So here's what I like to do. When you run this through, it is quite intricate. You've got a couple of choices. You could use the precision plate, which is the black plate that we have for really intricate dies, and that does work. The precision plate is not my favorite. Okay, I prefer to use my standard plate. I find that I get a bit of bending of my plates after a while using the precision plate, so I like the standard plate. But when cutting with the standard plate such an intricate die, there's a couple of tips I can give you. Okay, so this is the standard plate. If you have the old one with the hinges, you would use it completely closed. You can see I've really torn up the edges of my thin die adapter. So it's this piece plus this piece, which is the standard one that the Big Shot used to come with. Okay, and then I need a cutting plate on the bottom. Just take all the bits and pieces off that. That'll do. All right, so then that one goes on top. Then I put my piece in and I put my die through. I find to get a better run if I put it with put it through vertically rather than putting it through this way. Okay, you'll get I think a better cut. So put your pieces through vertically when you do it. I run it through once, then I run it back through. Okay, then I take it off with this still attached. Okay, and I turn it over and I do it one run through up the other way. All right, so it's still attached, it's still cutting. All right, and what happens is just cutting it the other way like that gives you a little bit of a better cut. So actually, for these really intricate dies, I send them through 3 times. Now, I do still need to use my pokey tool here, this one here, and I still push out any bits that didn't already fall out. And the other thing is you've got a brush end here on this one here. I will also run that over potentially, and I do that with my die too. So if there's any pieces left sitting in the die, then running over them with the brush, just like this. Hold it in your hand and just run your brush over it, and that will pull any extra pieces out. All right, so that's handy. But with this particular die, I have discovered that if I want to stick it straight down, it doesn't matter so much, but there's an area here, these pieces don't fall out unless you actually push them out. And that's good, because that's where I like to hide my dimensionals. Now I can get a mini dimensional behind this bit up the top, and I can also get a couple of dimensionals down here behind this bit. If there are any other bits that you didn't push out, or if you chose not to pull your bits out, then you could also put dimensionals behind them. If you want some of it out like mine, then just use your bigger pieces here for where you want your dimensionals to be. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to grab a couple of mini dimensionals, and I'm going to carefully put one here at the top, and then I'm going to put a couple down here. Now actually putting these where these little die pieces didn't push out, that also helps to keep them solid, keeps them in. And I do this quite often on different dies. If you wanted to, you could put a very thin piece here, but these mini dimensionals are actually a little bit too wide for that, so you'd have to cut them down. And to be honest, I can't be bothered. So I'm just going to have one at the top here and then those 3 there. Take the backs off. It's New Year's Day here in Australia. Very exciting. We're actually moving house in a week. I should pick up the camera and show you. Actually, yeah, you would have seen that in the beginning, what the room looks like. It's a bit scary. All right. Okay, so that's going to hold that in place enough for me to do what I want to do. Okay, so I've got it slightly to one side of the designer series paper, and then I'm going to just add a little bit of snail here and there behind this little flourishy piece, which I just cut out of shimmery white paper. I just used the shimmery white. You could just use normal white too. It's only a very thin piece, so because that piece is up off the bottom with dimensionals, you can slide that piece in, and just that little bit of snail will hold it in place, and it looks really, really cute. All right, then I've also got I'm going to do the same thing with this one. On this card I use the word amour, which is in the dies, and this one I thought I'd just use a different word. This one is merci. So I thought they both look lovely, and I'll just show you the difference between them. I've used cherry cobbler to cut this out. Now you're thinking, cherry cobbler really with petal pink? Yes, that's what's in the paper, and here in the background there is actually some fine detail in cherry cobbler, so it actually looks rather nice with it. Right, so I'm going to just put that here across my Eiffel Tower, just like that. And also in the set there's this lovely little fleur-de-lis, and there's a die to cut that out as well. See, there you go. So of course I've already done that, and it's here somewhere. There it is. And I'm going to pop a dimensional or two behind that. My nails are getting a bit long to do this. I need to trim them. Take the backs off. And then I'm just going to pop that here on one side, just like that. Looks rather cute, doesn't it? Now, here's a couple of elements from the same suite. I think these are absolutely beautiful. And I'm going to take, there it goes. I'm going to pop one of those little champagne rhinestones right there in the middle of that little element, which looks rather nice. And you can see how quickly this comes together. Totally optional, but here's the last of the bundle that I wanted to use. This beautiful satin ribbon with the metallic edges. Absolutely beautiful. It's petal pink. And then, you know, metallic edges, of course, match those little rhinestones. So what I like to do, I don't want a big bow, I only want a little one. So I'm going to pull the edges out. Until I'm happy with the size. And a good ribbon or a good bow needs to be fiddled around with. Don't let anyone tell you that bows just come together easily. They don't. You need to mess with them. Okay, I'm going to trim that off. And if you see me using paper snips, it's very naughty. I should be using ribbon scissors, but that's because in our moving of house, I think I might have packed them maybe. I'm not sure because I can't see them in this crazy mess that we have. And then I'm just going to glue that little bow. Give it a push. And just pop it down here to one side underneath the Eiffel Tower. Because that looks rather nice, doesn't it? How easy. Isn't this a great little card? I love it. Alright, so just to finish it off. Okay, a brand new Tombow because the last one was empty. Tombow's great when you're working with an embossed surface because it fills in all those little gaps. Snail is not quite as successful on an embossed surface. Give that a good old push around the edges. And I'm calling that a finished card. Now I have two. Look at that. One says amour, one says merci. Absolutely beautiful. You like it? Have a fantastic day. Happy New Year to all of you. I'm in the middle of this crazy moving house, but on the 3rd of January you can go ahead and order through my online store. I'll put all the details in the description below, and if you have any questions at all, please message me. I'll put the details for my email and so forth on there as well, so that you can send me a message if you have any inquiries about the kit, about any of the products, about how to order, anything at all. Very happy to help. Have a lovely day and Happy New Year, Happy New Decade. Bye.